This is Topic B on page 32, Adding Word Art and Other Text Effects.
You have used text boxes and shapes to make information stand out in your document. Another way to make information stand out or to separate one section of information from another is to use word art, which enables you to apply dramatic special effects to text. Word art is text that is treated like a drawing object. A set of special formatting options can be applied to word art, providing much greater flexibility in formatting than font and style options alone provide. Word includes a gallery of word art styles with decorative effects like fills, shadows, and texture. So suppose I wanted to add a title to this example document that had, some extra effects to apply to the font. I could insert that as word art. I would go up to my Insert tab, Text Command Group, and here I have my word art drop down. And you can see it has a small gallery of preset effects added to the text. So you just hover for the exact name of it. So this is fill blue accent 1, outline background 1, hard shadow accent 1. And you click and you can see inserts your text or inserts the word art, and it says your text here as a placeholder. And you can see that is selected, it's shadowed in gray. So I can add my title. We'll just say video tools, for example. And you can see it plopped it right on top of my text. It didn't put it where my insertion point was. So I need to configure my layout options. Do I want it to wrap around or do I want it on the top of my text? I'll choose top and bottom so it looks more like a title. You can work with the alignment. Maybe you'll want to align that in the center of your document, and I did not mean to put tools there, I meant tools. There we go. And when you have a word art selected, you get your Drawing Tools Format Contextual tab. So you can change, even though you chose a specific pre-configuration for your word art, you can go back to the gallery and choose something different if you want. You can see it's only going to apply that to where my cursor is selected in that text. But you can select both words and go ahead and make any changes that you want. So maybe you wanted a red, whoops, that's the background fill, shape fill. Maybe you wanted a red text fill, but you still wanted that shadow effect. Maybe you want a dark green border. You can change the weight of it, make it a little more noticeable. And then right before, so this is your text fill, text outline. Third button there with the letter A, these are your text effects. You have shadow, and this applies drop shadows and 3D perspective effects to text as though the text is illuminated by an external light source. So you can hover over, you can see you get those shadow effects. You have two sections, outer, inner, and a third perspective. Look at that shadow. Much more intense. Pretty cool, right? Then you have reflection, make text appear to reflect from the page like a mirror. So maybe having shadow and a reflection. So there you can see the reflection like a mirror at the bottom, and this adds more space in between the text and reflection. You can add a glow. You have blue, and it intensifies as you go down in the row. You have orange, gray, gold, blue, and green. So again, as you go down, adds the thickness of the glow. Then you have bevel, which applies 3D edges and corners to text. Kind of hard to see sometimes with the bevel because your text is so thin, but if it was, much larger, it would be much more apparent. Then you have 3D rotation, which rotates the text in space, which is pretty neat. So you have a whole bunch of different options in that gallery. And then you have the transform option to make the text follow a curved path or stretch the text as though it is laid out on a 3D object. So this adds a curve going up. This one adds a curve arching down. This one would go around in a circle depending on how long the text is. You can see this one kind of looks like it's growing as it's coming towards you in the middle and then going out again. So you have a whole bunch of different options and it adds some life to your document. Instead of just having flat text all around, you can add some different effects there. All right, so that's your word art and your different text effects. And last thing for this topic B is your drop caps. Drop cap formats the first letter in a paragraph to descend beyond a single line and sometimes in a different font. Your drop cap is located on your insert tab in your text group. Here you have the drop cap drop down. And your drop cap, when you're reading chapter books and it starts, whatever chapter number, say chapter 1, and the first letter of the chapter underneath the heading, in the first paragraph, first letter, sometimes very large and it goes across maybe 3 lines or so of text and it's just, larger than the rest of the words. That's what a drop cap is. See this? Video, the V in video goes down 3 lines. And that's that is situated inside the paragraph. So you have the dropped option, which sits inside the paragraph, or you can put it outside of the paragraph in the margin. Okay, so those are your 2 different options for your drop cap. And you also have drop cap options dialog box, where you can choose how many lines it will descend. So if I chose the dropped option, I can choose the font of that letter. Let's just pick a random font here, wherever I stop. Let's do, what's this one? Tempest Sans ITC, whatever that looks like, I don't know. And suppose I want that to drop down 5 lines. Distance from text, we'll put 0.2. Click OK. Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? And that's a pretty nice font as well. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It went down 5 lines of text, and I put a 0.2 inch space between where the text starts and where that drop cap letter is. Now if I had chose the in margin option, you can see it'll put it outside in the left-hand margin. All right, so you'll practice this in the second activity 2.2 on page 33, adding text.
That's going to be activity 2.2 on page 34, adding text effects to a document.